Good morning, sir. This is Ganesh Babu Parlapati. I am from Ganapuvaram village. Yeah, I am working in a Narayana Olympiad School organization, sir. Now I am here to discuss an interesting topic in physics. Okay, so what is the topic is nothing but force concept. So before going to the force concept, we need to learn when the object will be moved, when the object change its shape of the change its shape, when the object change its direction. Okay, so to know this object changing the position of position and object changing the direction and object changing its motion means we need to understand the force concept. Firstly, before going to the concept, we need to know what is force. Okay, so force is nothing but a push or pull. For example, once again I am repeating that force is nothing but a push or pull. For example, if we need to move an object, what we need to do? We need to apply some force. If we need to push an object, what we need to do? We need to apply some force. We need to move an object. What we need to do? We need to apply some force. That means we need to change the position of the object. With the help of force only, we can change the position of object. With the help of force only, we can change the shape of the object. With the help of force only, we can change the direction of the object. So, force is defined as simply, force can be defined as push or pull, or a pull or push is called a force. Force. Force is nothing but push or pull. So force is a vector quantity. Force is a vector quantity. Why force is called a vector quantity? What is vector quantity? We know that already vector quantity is nothing but the quantity which has both magnitude and as well as direction is known as vector quantity. Vector quantity, both magnitude and direction. So the quantity which has both magnitude and direction is called vector quantity. So force has both magnitude and also direction. For example, this is a box. I need to apply 3 newtons of, I am applying 3 newtons of force to move that box. So I am moving that box in this straight direction. That means the box, when I am applying some force, that means I am applying 3 newtons of force and moving in the straight direction. So force has both magnitude. Simply we can say that magnitude is also known as numerical value. So force has a magnitude and as well as a direction. So that's why we call force is a vector quantity. So force can be defined as F is equal to ma, where F is equal to force, m is equal to mass of the object, and a is equal to acceleration. Force is the cause of the object of mass to change its velocity to accelerate. Okay, so an object has mass, so m is equal to mass, and object when we apply force on the object, it will be moved from one place to another place. That means the object is to be accelerated. So we are taking that F is equal to ma, F is equal to force, m is equal to mass of the object, and a is equal to acceleration. So there are 2 types of forces. Okay, we have understand. Are you understand about the force concept? Now force, simply once again I am repeating that force is a vector quantity. A push or pull is called a force. Force can be denoted with the letter F, where F is equal to ma, m is equal to mass of the object, and a is equal to acceleration of the object, and F is equal to force. So we have learnt about the force. Next, there are 2 types of forces. One is contact force and another one is non-contact force. First one is contact force. Another one is non-contact force. What is contact force and what is non-contact force? Coming to the contact force, the physical interaction between 2 bodies is called contact force. The physical interaction or the physical touch between 2 bodies is called contact force. And coming to the non-contact force, there is no physical interaction. That means there is a distance between 2 objects is called non-contact force. The physical interaction between 2 bodies is called contact force, and there is no physical interaction between 2 bodies. That means there is a distance between 2 objects. This is called non-contact force. physically touching is called contact force. Physically touching objects is called contact force. Non-contact force means there is no interaction between two bodies. That means there is a distance maintained between two bodies is called non-contact force. So coming to the contact force, there are some types of forces. We need to learn what are they. Okay, contact force, physical touch between two bodies is called contact force. Muscular force. So example, just only now only I have said that I need to lift a bucket of water. So I need to apply muscular force. I need to lift some weights. I need to apply some force with my muscles. If I need to lift the weight of the bag, so I need to lift the bag. I need to apply some muscular force. Without muscular force, can I lift the bag? No, I cannot lift the weights. With the help of our muscles, my muscles only, I need to apply some force with the help of my muscles, and I need to lift that weights. So the force that acts on our muscles is called muscular force. And next, another force is frictional force. What is frictional force? Frictional force. What is frictional force? Frictional force is nothing but the force which opposes the relative motion is called frictional force. Once again, I am repeating that the force which opposes the relative motion is called frictional force. For example, when we are riding a car on road, okay, if there is any vehicles in front of us, suddenly we need to apply brakes. Okay, automatically the car will be stopped. That means one force is acting opposite to that car. Then only when we apply the brakes, then only the car is to be stopped. When without applying a force on the brakes, can the car will be stopped? No, definitely the car cannot be stopped. Why? We need to apply some force, and apply force on the brakes. Then only the force which acts on the acts opposes to the relative motion. So then the car will be stopped. That means simply we can say that the force which opposes the relative motion is called frictional force. Another example, one student can need to go to third stair. If the student going to second stair, he gets leg pain. Why he will get the leg pain? Because one force is acting opposite to him or her. So that's why he is getting leg pain. That means one force is acting opposite to that boy. So he will getting leg pains, and he is not able to climb to third floor. So that is the example for frictional force. Simply we can say that the force which opposes the relative motion is called frictional force. Okay, and coming to the normal force. What is the normal force? What is the normal force? Simply another example for a frictional force is there is a inclined plane. When we place a book on the inclined plane, it will be going to down. Why it will be going to down? Because there is a force acting, one force acting acting upon the book, and there is another force that is known as a frictional force. And coming to the normal force. What is normal force? Normal force means the force which is perpendicular to the surface in contact is called normal force. What is the normal force? The force which is perpendicular to the surface in contact is called normal force. Example, we are walking. We are perpendicular to the ground. That means we are in contact with the ground. We are walking. That means we are perpendicular to the ground. That means we are contacted with the ground. So the force which is perpendicular to the surface in contact is called normal surface. Example, the man is walking on the floor, or the girl is walking on the ground. You can take example like that. Okay, and coming to the spring force. What is spring force? Spring force. What is spring force? Spring force is the force exerted by the spring which is used to compress and stretch. For example, there is a spring pens. Okay, when we compress on the pen, automatically it will move the refill outside. Okay, when we'll again compress on it, the refill will be go back. So this is one of the example for a spring force. And when we open the door, okay, when we open the door with the help of a spring action, the door will be closed automatically. So we can take doors as an spring doors as an example of spring force. Once again, I am saying that spring force is nothing but the force exerted. The force is exerted to be compressed or stretched is called spring force. And another force is tensional force. What is another force? Another force is tension force. What is tension force? We have already seen so many children who are playing a tug of war game. That means one team will pushing the rope from one side and one team will pushing the rope from other side. That means there is a tension produced on the rope. Simply we can say that the force which is the force that acts on the opposite ends of the string or cable or rope is called tensional force. Once again I am repeating that the force that acts on the opposite ends of string or cable or rope is called tensional force. Okay, so these are the topics in contact force. And next one is non-contact force, and there are three types of non-contact forces. What is non-contact force? What is non-contact force? Coming to the non-contact force, there is just now only I have discussed about the non-contact force. There is no physical interaction between our two bodies. There is no physical touch between two bodies. That means there is a distance between two bodies. That is called non-contact force. There is no physical interaction between two bodies is called non-contact force. There are three types. No physical interaction between two bodies is called non-contact force. There are three types of forces in non-contact force. One is electrostatic force. Electrostatic force. And another one is gravitational force. And another one is magnetic force. What is electrostatic force? Simply we can say that electrostatic force means the force between charged body and uncharged body is called electrostatic force. What is charged body and uncharged body? For example, we are combing our hair. Okay, if we place a paper pieces on the ground with the help of paper pieces on the ground. Okay, so the comb attracts the paper pieces. That means paper pieces are uncharged body and comb is a charged body. So electrostatic force means the force between charged body and uncharged body is called electrostatic force. And coming to the gravitational force. What is gravitational force? We know that about gravity. The force which attracts the object towards itself is called gravitational force. That means the force with which Earth attracts the object towards itself. For example, an apple is falling from the tree. That means Earth attracting the apple. Okay, the force with which Earth attracts the object towards itself is called gravitational force. And we can say, for example, the apple is falling down from the tree. Okay, when a cricketer hits the ball, okay, the ball will goes to 90 meters or 60 meters or 40 meters. After it will be coming to the ground. Okay, that means Earth attracting that object. So the force that attracts the object, the force that is attracted by Earth, the force that attracts the object by the Earth towards itself is called gravitational force. And what is magnetic force? Simply, magnetic force is nothing but the force between two magnets is called magnetic force. There are the magnetic force means in the magnetic poles there is attraction and a repulsion. North pole, that means like poles repel each other. North pole, south pole, or south pole, north pole, that means unlike poles which attract each other. Simply we can say that north poles like poles repel each other, and unlike poles attract each other. And coming to the magnetic force, what is meant by magnetic force means the force between two magnets is called magnetic force. Okay, so this is the topic about force concept, and this is the topic about types of forces, contact force and non-contact force. Another most concept in the force is laws of motion. Laws of motion. Laws of motion. Laws of motion means there are three types of laws of motion. One is Newton's first law of motion, and second one is Newton's second law of motion, and the third one is Newton's third law of motion. There are three types of motions. One is Newton's first law of motion, and another one is Newton's second law of motion, and another one is Newton's third law of motion. Coming to the Newton's first law of motion, what is Newton's first law of motion? The book is on the table. The book is not moving anywhere. The book is on the table. That means the book is said to be in the rest. Okay. So it is an example for Newton's first law of motion. Why I am saying the book is on the rest is an example for Newton's first law of motion? Because Newton's first law means the body is said to be continuously in the state of rest or uniform motion unless an external force acts on it. Is called Newton's first law of motion. The book is on the table. If I apply some external force, then only the book is said to be in the motion. Without applying external force, the book is said to be in the rest position only. So that means, coming to the Newton's first law, the body is said to be continuously in the state of rest or uniform motion unless an external force acts on it. Is called Newton's first law of motion. And coming to the Newton's second law of motion. What is Newton's second law of motion? The rate of change of momentum is directly proportional to the applied unbalanced force. The rate of change of momentum is directly proportional to the applied unbalanced force. For example, we are going to the shopping malls to buy the groceries. Okay, firstly, when we are entering to the shopping mall, we need to take an empty cart. So when we applying some force, that means little force on the empty cart gives more acceleration and moving. And after filling the groceries, that means after the empty cart is filled with some weights, we need to apply more force. Then automatically the cart will give less acceleration. That means if we apply less force, acceleration is more. And if we apply more force, acceleration is less. We all know acceleration means the rate of change of velocity is nothing but acceleration. So acceleration is equal to v minus u by t. That means change in final velocity minus change in initial velocity by time. So the unit of acceleration is meter per second square. Is that clear? And coming to the third law of motion, Newton's third law of motion. What is Newton's third law of motion means? For every action there is equal and opposite reaction. For every action it is equal and opposite reaction. Action, reaction. If there is action, automatically there is a reaction. Rocket needs to launch. For example, rockets need to launch. So rocket pushes some gases to the ground. Then only it pushes the gases to the ground. That means it performing action. The reaction is rocket is launching up. Okay. For a boy swimming in the swimming pool, he will give reaction with his hands. The reaction is he is moving forward. We are giving when we are walking, we are giving action with our foot. We are going or we are moving some front. Is called reaction. Okay. So for every action there is an equal and opposite reaction. So this is called Newton's law of motion. So this is the concept of a force and the concept and the types of force and the four laws of motion in the force concept. I think you have all understand this concept of force. Thank you.